The markets are already in a state of jubilation over the election of Donald J. Trump as the 47th president. Now, what's going to be interesting going forward is how different sectors of the economy are going to respond to this. We would think, or like to hope, that there would be tremendous economic growth, similar to what we saw from 2016 all the way up through 2020 when COVID began. But one of the two things, of course, that we like to look at the most here is not only Hollywood film and television production, but also where are America's families going to get their theme park entertainment? And one of the big possible dichotomies or divergences that may happen next summer in 2025 is when Epic Universe opens in Orlando, Florida. Because right now, Universal Studios looks like they're headed in the right direction. And of course, the Walt Disney Company is headed in a different direction. And that direction might be opposite of Universal, which is a problem for Disney. Renegade Online.
Yeah, I mean, Epic Universe is going to be a huge opening, huge, massive. And to put in perspective, if you've ever been to Universal Orlando, you've got 2 theme parks there plus the City Walk. Epic Universe is going to be bigger than all of that put together. Mm-hmm. And so this is going to be huge. So that's going to be the bigger thing that Disney's going to have to deal with, because the theme park business, especially at Walt Disney World, is a big, big piece of the puzzle for them. And if that starts getting hurt, that could be some big trouble for them.
Watch November and December for park attendance, because it's going to be a bellwether for how they're going to be doing next year when Epic Universe opens. If they cannot reverse the decline, they've been on a decline since February of this year. Every single month has been a decline in wait times, which we correlate to attendance. If that continues through November and December, surely it can't in December. But if it continues through November, could be a rough earnings call coming up for Disney.
Well, the last earnings call that we covered back in August, the next one will be 2 weeks from now. It would be November 14th. They guided forward. Bob Iger's guided forward during that earnings call that not only was theme park attendance, how did he put it? Demand had moderated for theme park attendance.
Demand moderation.
He said. Yeah. And he said they expected that demand moderation, as they called it, to continue for the next at least couple of 2 or 3 fiscal quarters, meaning that it's going to continue in the report that we get coming up here in 2 weeks. It's going to continue into January through March. And like Jeremy pointed out, May 22nd, Epic Universe opens. So if they're expecting to come out of a slump next summer, I'm not going to say it's going to be bad, but what's going to be interesting to see is how much of the market share are they going to cough up when Epic Universe opens, because it's all about the market share. And on the Comcast earnings call that we covered on Halloween morning, we covered it live here, Brian Roberts at Comcast, the second thing, which is never done, talking about the theme parks in the earnings call. He went right to theme parks after they talked about broadband, because that's Comcast bread and butter. They went right to Epic Universe, talking about how this was going to help make Universal the week-long vacation destination that they have not been able to compete with Disney on all these years. Because, right, you go to Universal, you spend a couple days there, and you're still going to Disney. Universal's goal with Epic is to make it a 5 to 7 day destination vacation in and of itself for families to go to, with Epic Universe being there. That could change a lot of the dynamic. Universal seems to be very excited by this, and they seem to have a lot of energy and faith that this is what it's going to build towards. So we'll see.
To put it in perspective for a lot of people that may not understand, it would be like Rumble becoming the new YouTube. That's what Universal has tried to become, because usually Universal was always the second tier. Like, if we get an extra day through our Disney vacation, we'll go to Universal. That has been shifting slowly over the past 5 years, and more people are almost building their vacations around that. So it would be essentially of where people go, I'm going to go to Rumble instead of YouTube now. That's a huge mountain for Rumble to climb, but let's hope that happens in the next 5 to 7 years. It takes time to build something like that, and Epic Universe could be that big thing for them.
I got some bad news for Disney. We haven't talked about exogenous shocks, and I suspect that the price to get into any Disney park is probably significantly higher than Universal. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So if people want to look at 3 charts, they should look at the S&P price to earnings ratio, the Case-Shiller, and then also I'm looking at a chart of calculated recession probability based on the yield curve inverting. So listen, I think that Trump would be great as a fix the economy kind of president. But things have been building up in a way that the stress and pressure in the economic markets has not been relieved. So it might be tough for them to turn things around in the park when everybody's home equity lines are upside down and there's no money and they can't go on vacation at all.
That's true.
Right. And they're gonna choose to spend their dollars more judiciously. And I think, one of the things that we talked about recently in tandem with the Comcast earnings call last week was the fact that in the same week that there is so much excitement about Epic Universe and its opening and all these videos are coming out, you have article after article for like 2-3 weeks straight of people talking and complaining about how expensive Disney has gotten, the Disney vacation. It's not worth it. The price to value relationship is way out of whack. And we talked about years ago that eventually the Walt Disney Company was going to find out how much that price elasticity rubber band could stretch before it broke. I think it's breaking. And I think they've pushed. I mean, when you come out with a fast pass for your park that is $450 that allows you to skip the line on every ride one time. It's not even
when
unlimited.
There are no lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the kind of thing where people are going to go, hey, look, there was an article, I think in, I forget which, one of the Wall Street trades or one of the other ones that was like, look, we spent less money. It was a family of 4. We went to Disney. We went to Universal. We spent a lot less money at Universal and we had a much better time was the gist of the article.
So they raised the price and diluted their product. Not smart.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the thing. Like, I used to love going to Walt Disney World over a decade ago. I used to love it. You go there now, and as somebody that's relatively plugged into the world, I'm still confused. I'm like, wait, I can't buy a ticket the day up. Wait, I can't go on this ride. Wait, where's my fast pass machine? Wait, I have to schedule every move I make within the park. That's not a vacation. That's a job. Like, you're still having to do work. Oh, you have to have the app. Maybe I don't want to have my phone out when I'm on vacation. That's literally all I do 24/7 already. I don't want to go pay to spend more time on my phone. It's a disaster. Whereas you go to Universal, you go in there, you just have fun. You go to the rides you want. You can obviously have this fast pass. They have their own version of fast pass, but it's not nearly as complicated as Disney's system is. It's a disaster.
Yeah, I like Universals. I mean, I was there with you earlier this year. We were hanging out, and 2 of the days that I was there, I bought the extra Express Pass tickets. I think they were like $120 a piece. Yeah. So my daughter and I could just kind of hit everything quickly because we had limited time. We were fitting it in between the competition that she was in at ESPN and all this stuff. So to me, it was worth it. But I mean, I got 4 days of park tickets at Universal because it was buy 2, get 2 free. So I think I paid like $200 per ticket. I got 4 days out of that $200 per ticket. And then I added on some express passes after that. I mean, to me, it was a lot better value, and we had a lot more fun because we're roller coaster people. Yeah, we're more about I want to get on the high thrill rides and stuff like that. So
right.
But yeah, it works out. Make sure you're subscribed to Valliant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.